Hey guys, I just wanted to preface this video by saying that I made a couple of mistakes. My phone's memory was almost full, so it kept cutting off the recording, and I didn't realize it at one point. So since the since it stopped recording, I'm actually going to list the ingredients in the description for the protein bars in the description of the video. Everything else is pretty much the same. So I hope you enjoy it. If you make them, if you end up making the recipes, let me know what you think, and enjoy. What's up, guys? For those of you that don't know me, my name's Tim. Excuse me. So a lot of people have been asking for the recipes that I've been using lately since I've had the gastric sleeve surgery, and I just thought it would be a good idea to start shooting videos and putting them on excuse me, and putting them on YouTube. So that's what we're gonna do. Today's our first run, or my first run. So it's gonna be two very simple recipes. Excuse me. The first one is actually really good for people that have had the gastric sleeve surgery, such as myself, and can only have certain textured type of foods for the first 3 to 4 weeks out of surgery. So the first one we're going to do is a protein popsicle. So excuse me. Since I did cough, I'm going to wash my hands. So the first one we're going to make, like I said, is a protein popsicle. Now, you can use any type of protein, any flavor protein you want. The first time I made it was with an isomorph orange cream flavor protein powder, and it tasted, in all honesty, it tasted just like one of those Orange Julius drinks we used to get when we were kids. It's that simple. And the molds are relatively simple. I mean, I got these on eBay for like $4. So I mean, it's not an inexpensive, snack to make. Let's be honest. So the first thing we're gonna need is our blender. So what we're gonna do for the popsicles, where's it? There it is. We're going to need 2 cups of Greek yogurt. You definitely want to get the fat-free stuff and plain flavor. Okay, so there's our Greek yogurt. Next thing we're going to put in is 1/3 of a cup of coconut milk. Now for the important part. So we're going to use 1 2/3 is fine. Typically it's 1 1/2, but whatever. If you like a stronger flavor, add more. This is actually, like I said, this is the first flavor that I made when I first started making these. I've also made chocolate peanut butter using a chocolate protein powder and powdered peanut butter. Came out, I thought it was great. So we're going to blend this down. Okay, perfect. So now, I'm going to take our popsicle molds. Now you might end up with a little bit extra, depending on the size of your popsicle molds. So what you can do in that instance, throw the extra in a little bowl, and you got like a bowl of frozen yogurt. It's good stuff. Now you don't want to fill them too much, because then when you put the stick in, they kind of overflow and it gets a little messy. That's good. Yeah, like I said, I got a little extra because the molds I got, they're not that big, to be honest. But they're good for a post-workout snack, or if you need to meet your protein requirements for the day. I'm not sure of the macros, so don't ask. So we put our sticks in. Yeah, I felt a couple of these a little too much, but whatever. Okay. And that's basically it. That's your protein popsicle. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick those in the freezer for a minimum of 2 hours, so they got time to set up. And that's that. Simple enough, right? Okay. So our next recipe is for homemade protein bars. Now the reason I decided to do these is, one, the store-bought protein bars are outrageously expensive. You know, you're paying $4, $5, $6 a piece for a bar that's this big. Makes no sense to me. The other thing that I really like about these is that the ingredients are extremely simple. They're very, very, very simple. Another thing I don't like about the store-bought ones is you don't know what's in them. There's typically a lot of sugar in the store-bought protein bars. Let's be honest. The other thing, you read the ingredients list, I don't know about you, but I don't know what half that crap is. You know, half of it, it's half chemicals. I mean, if you want to go out and spend, you know, $25 on a case of 12 protein bars, have at it. That's on you. I prefer to, you know, I made these the other day. Let me say that all the recipes that I'm going to be doing are recipes that I have made in the past. One, thoroughly enjoy, and two, there's not a lot of fat in them. I mean, there's a little added sugar in the protein bars from the dark chocolate chips and the cranberries, but it's negligible. If you're going to be cooking with the protein that I used for the popsicles, I actually use for my shakes. This is a really good stuff. It's made by APS Sports. It's isomorph. You know, orange cream flavor. I use it in my shakes all the time. It's phenomenal. When I cook with protein, like there's a recipe I'm going to be putting up probably next week for protein peanut butter cookies. I recommend getting an inexpensive one. I got this from Aldi. It was like $15. There's 2 grams of sugar per serving, 30 grams of protein. The fat, there's 2.5 grams of fat. You know, it's inexpensive. I mean, I haven't tried it in a shake yet, I'm not going to lie. But for cooking purposes, it serves its purpose. Moving on. So we're going to take our large mixing bowl. And first thing we're going to start with is 4 cups of oats. Now for the wet ingredients. We're going to need 1.5 cups of peanut butter. Now I use all natural peanut butter for these because it doesn't have a lot of sugar. It's got like 2 grams of sugar per serving. The only problem with the all natural peanut butter is that it tends to separate a little bit. So you got to be careful to mix it up. Okay, so there's 1 cup. And 1.5 cups. Always want to keep your work area clean. So now what we're going to do, this is basically what it looks like. So now what we're going to do, we're going to mix this all together. You know what? I wash my hands. Now, once everything is all incorporated, if the mix is still a little dry, you can add water. Which it looks like I'm going to have to do. Yeah. Definitely going to have to add a little bit of water. So we'll start with about 3/4 cup. Sorry, camera cut off for some reason. Like I was saying, you want to pack these in nice and tight so you don't get a lot of crumbs and stuff like that when you go to cut the bars. Now, this is what you should look like. These are not good for the first couple of months. I'd say first 6 weeks after post sleeve surgery. Not good. Too dense, and the oats have too many carbs. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick those in the fridge and see you in 2 hours. Okay guys, we're back. It's been about 2.5 hours since we did since we put everything in the fridge and freezer to set up. So, like I said, there's your popsicles. Simple enough. Now with protein bars, you might have a little bit of crumbs when they break off. It's expected, it's not a problem. So what we're going to do, pull it out by the parchment paper. Saves you a little time washing your pan. What we're going to do, let me adjust this a little bit. There we go, that's better. You take a sharp knife, and just cut it. Like I said before, it depends on how thick you like your protein bars. I'm going to get about 10, or I'm going to get about 8 out of these, sorry. And there we have it. Simple as that. If you guys like this video, give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and there'll be more videos every week. Enjoy. Have a great weekend.